have a little bit of a follow-up to the situation from Gothic Therapy yesterday and this video that they posted, which we talked about with Master of TDS last night, and how they had some updates. And the updates were about how it turns out that Jason Huberts was on Kim Belair's Sexiest podcast. So in other words, we were right about SBI. And this is the tweet that they posted today. Shame the episode isn't available anymore. Big shocker, by the way. Would have loved to hear what he had to say. And with this being out there now, we now have concrete evidence that this guy, it was not a mistake or an error or anything. This guy existed. He was on the podcast with Kim Belair, and he was the original creator of Sweet Baby Inc. before stepping away after one day. So it makes you wonder a lot about this stuff. So now we have additional context and information that it looks highly likely, which we still can't say definitively, but highly likely that Sweet Baby Inc. is a government-sponsored propaganda arm or wing of the Canadian government, which is crazy Alex Jones tinfoil hat territory. But with the information that we have, that's the only logical conclusion that I and many others can come to. And then you get to thinking, well, damn, this gets at the essence of everything we've been complaining about with the issues in the game industry. We want the government to get out of gaming. We want less state-sponsored programs for injecting ideologies into games. We want these companies to excel on their own. And anytime there's an indie developer looking for a grant, it always seems to end up going to the diverse one. And it's going to make you wonder, why is that? Until you start digging and find out all the backroom deals between all these very, we'll just say, curious looking creatures that are in charge of doling out the grants. And it's almost like they look for people that look like them. It's not a very fair system behind the scenes, but it is what it is. And I think if you were to ask the general gaming population at large, are you for or against government intervention with gaming, with governments doling out cash to produce games? Are you on board with that? I would venture to guess the vast majority of gamers would say, we want absolutely nothing to do with that. Let these game companies find private investors. If they don't have it to start up on their own, indies can create an indie game on their own right now with what's available. They don't need government sponsorship for anything. It's been proven time and time again. There is no need for any of it. Bunyip says, money laundering? Question mark. I mean, yep, that's definitely a question with most of it. But again, most people would push back on government sponsorship and government grants and stuff like that. There's no place for that in gaming. And I feel like that's a general consensus. I haven't seen anyone really argue that. So now that Gothic Therapy, Master of TDS and Writing Raven together exposed the situation, now we have people that are coping because the secret has been found. The cat is out of the proverbial bag. And we go over to a failed former journalist, Alyssa Mercante. And she says, I heard the usual suspects with capitals on the U and the S, which were up in arms over a video game company getting government funding and concerned it was to push an agenda. Please don't let them fool you. This is very normal. Very, very normal. AKA, please, guys, DEI needs to be a thing. Governments are funding the DEI. Without the government, DEI falls apart. It's totally normal because it's happened before. You should just go with it. Notice how it's gone from, oh, it's a crazy internet theory and conjecture and conspiracy theories, to now that it's been exposed, to it's always been happening, guys. Look, here it is. I don't know what you're even mad about. Here's the proof. I even provided screenshots. Italian government approves 4 million fund for game developers. Look at this one. Video game company receives $1.5 million grant from Fort Worth to relocate. Oh, wait. Which game company is that? Oh, Probably Monsters, aka Firewalk Studios, aka the company behind Concord. This gonna be one. This gonna be one of your examples of trying to sell this to people of it's a good thing. These money is just not printed and invented. It comes at the expense of the citizens. This is tax dollars being blown. Stop taking my money. Give me my money back. Why would you be on board with the government taking more tax from you and then blowing it on this shit that you don't approve of? This is funny. I didn't even notice that it was Probably Monsters. That's amazing. Wow. Government.uk, multi-million pound funding boost for homegrown video game developers. More than 3 million euro of government funding has been awarded. Is that euro? I don't even know what that is. Has been awarded to emerging video game developers and startup studios to help them scale their businesses and create the next, oh, that's pounds, and create the next British gaming hits. Yes, because I trust the UK government to spend the citizens' tax money properly. They wouldn't steer their citizens wrong. Is this the same UK government that's showing up at people's houses and arresting them for fake Facebook posting, for harassment and cyberbullying because they call someone fat on Facebook and they're getting arrested? What a fantastic government. Why wouldn't you trust them to spend your money on these game companies? What else we got? Oh, CD Projekt Red. Hold on. I thought CD Projekt Red wasn't this DEI company that took all these grants and stuff. Wait a second. Hold on. CD Projekt Red, Techland receive grants from Polish government's 27.4 million research fund. The Witcher 3 dev takes biggest chunk with 7 million towards seamless multiplayer and city creation projects. And you can't tell me that this is not money laundering. That is, oh, we just got a way to give us a fat bonus at the end of the day and offload this on the government and blame it on, oh yeah, we got to add multiplayer to our game and a city creation project. Yeah, we're going to do that on the game. And we're going to tell this government that it costs XYZ amount of dollars for us to do that. And then we get the money and it costs way less. And we're like, okay, we got the extra money. We're just going to give us a little bit more money. We'll keep it on the side for us. And oh, by the way, you know what's funny that she forgot to mention here? She didn't list anything about Red Thread Games and the government in, where are they? Is it Switzerland? I believe. Can't remember. Getting grants for Dustborn, which is just straight up propaganda. No, obviously didn't put that one here. And I'm wondering, did she not know that Probably Monsters was the original Firewalk Studios? So this one slipped by her because she was trying to be all coy with these other game companies to make it seem like it's always a good thing. That's classic. Mr. Philip Chan, shout out. I'm glad their sweet and sour chicken asses are getting exposed. But yes, Alyssa getting cooked in her own comments as usual, which, let me guess, that's more harassment her way. But ultimately, I found this absolutely hysterical because we have the story breaking from Gothic Therapy about how Sweet Baby Inc. has been found out to potentially now originate as a Canadian government entity, being founded and started from a dude that worked in the Canadian government at the time, the same guy that was behind projects of integrating people in private sectors to inject DEI into stuff. I mean, I put two and two together and I'm like, well, that's curious. It's almost like this is something that Sweet Baby Inc. was trying to hide all along. And now that it's out there, we got the number one Sweet Baby Inc. defender, Alyssa Mercante, that is literally dying on the hill of Sweet Baby Inc., suing someone for daring to take issue with their article that is completely inaccurate, leaving out important facts, now running defense for them and saying, oh yeah, these guys, they're all concerned about it now. Don't let them fool you. This is normal. Trust me, bro. I wouldn't mislead you. And don't watch that harmful opinions video that totally shows that I cut out of context, because that'd be really bad for you to believe me on anything moving forward. Maybe it explains why nobody wants to hire you, Alyssa, because you can't be trusted and you're not honest with your audience. But hey, that's just my opinion, and I don't think I'm alone on it. But anyways, I'll leave that one there. We got David Carroll for the 5. There was literally a poll on the internet of people who would rather trust the government or a random dog. Was fairly one-sided. I want to know who clicked on the government, because those people will tell you straight up they need a padded room. GDR for the 10 banger says government-funded games is shady, because that means we are funding their ideology. They would make a first-person shooter and then use the funding to push anti-gun legislation. I mean, we've already seen that with the likes of Halo Studios and them hiring on somebody that's anti-weapons. That was also the professor at Firewalk Studios, originally probably Monsters, where she didn't like guns, allegedly, working on a game about first-person shooter and guns. Disgusting for the VGN 5. DEI is like a prison mess hall. You eat what they give you. And if you protest, they simply make you quit. They simply make you quiet forcefully. This is what these people want. 100%. Absolutely 100%. And that probably explains a lot about why DEI is falling. Time Bomb Holler says, you know what's funny? If we talking about propaganda-like games, you wouldn't think Helldivers, where it's all about Super Earth and all that, would be the perfect game for them to make for their ideology. But the reason why it worked out is because you can tell when you play it, it's not